Episode 29. Welcome back for another week, boys. And this is not just a normal week. This is the night before Christmas.
This is the week.
Tomorrow night, it all kicks off. How are you guys? George, Arthur?
God, I'm excited.
Welcome,
God, I'm
everybody.
excited.
Can't wait. Yeah, it's going to be cracker.
I'm so excited, Nicola.
Yeah.
This time tomorrow night, we'll be out there.
Mate, you know what? Every Dragons fan's going to be so nervous this weekend. We are so nervous.
Arthur, if it makes you feel any better, by this time tomorrow night, I'll already have the shits.
No. I'm telling you. You know why we're going to be nervous, don't you? Because at the end of the week, at the end of the round, the board's going to see Saints on 2 points and they're going to upgrade his contract because they don't watch the game, so they're going to think they won something and he's going to get an extension.
Only another 2 years.
Another 2 years.
2 years.
I know. And we're going to be waited with bated breath that we don't hear an extension coming up after this.
I reckon the Dragons are going to surprise everybody this season. You just wait and see.
Let's wait and see. All right.
Just wait and see.
Nick, before we kick in, can I do some housekeeping? I'd like to give a big shout out to our listeners in Europe, England, South Africa. We got a few in Italy.
And India as well.
Well,
brilliant.
Look, on the back of Nicola's popularity, he's right. We got some listeners in Italy, and not only we got some listeners in Italy, Artie. Our team has made us their official podcast. West Mumbai Pigeons. The West Mumbai Pigeons have made us their official pod. I'll give you some background of the West Mumbai Pigeons. They play in a 4-team competition.
Yep.
They squeeze into the 4 semi-finals.
Fantastic.
Unfortunately, they got bundled out the first week.
Yep.
And they made history in making the semis and not winning the game.
Wow.
Yeah. But good things are expected for next year because Nick Politis' brother-in-law works in India. He has a factory who makes brown paper bags there.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. And he's taken over the club.
Wow.
So they're hoping for a spending spree.
So I know we've lost a couple. Who's our around the grounds guy at the moment? It's not Sachin, is it?
Sachin, the Uber driver. Yeah.
Sachin's still there.
We might have to send someone over there to do a bit of a story on the pigeons.
We should.
No, yeah. Imagine that, Bill.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Not fair.
Speaking about Sachin, the Uber driver, he was very angry this weekend. He thought the players were striking.
What was that?
Well, no one was playing, so he went to all the grounds, and all the grounds were empty.
Well, of course they were.
Yeah, I know. I told him it starts next week. So
Sachin
got a bit early, so he was angry, but he rang up fuming and he said, you know, everyone was out there watching James Graham on his guitar at Acor.
James Graham?
Yeah, I was there too.
Were you watching James Graham play guitar?
Ed
Sheeran.
Freaking. He thought Ed Sheeran was... Oh, no. Sachin's got to go.
It was great. It was one song for 2 hours.
Really?
It was.
No backup bands or anything. It was just him and the guitar, wasn't
but
it?
I don't really know his music, so to me it just sounded like the same song for 2
well,
hours. But he was really good.
He's good.
He was really good.
Hey, can I ask, did he charge us for the ticket for the gig
Of
as well?
course, yeah.
Bloody Sachin. Bloody Sachin.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought I'd shout out generally the listeners in... We have got Indian listeners.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it is. England, especially in the St Helens, Leeds area.
Go the Saints.
We've got a few in Italy and South Africa as well.
Interesting, yeah.
With also the Queenslanders and the New South Wales, but I think we've got a few in South Australia too. I don't know
South
how.
Australia.
Yeah, don't know
Adelaide
how.
Rams.
Adelaide Rams.
The Rams.
That's it.
They're
We might have to get the pigeons to send us over a signed jersey. We can give it away. We'll do a giveaway.
Oh yeah. So shout out to all our out of state and overseas listeners. I hope you enjoy the pod. And last week we had a question, an email question from a young man,
Eli.
Well, I actually met Eli, a young guy, and we talked rugby league. Loves his rugby league, Nicola.
Yeah.
Massive Parramatta fan. And he's playing...
Condolences to him.
Yeah.
Poor clueless bastard.
He's actually playing for Kellyville.
Wow.
Kellyville, and I think we might make him our official youngster of the pod, and I think I might update some of his scores and what's happening. He's a good kid, and he actually loves the game. So
maybe we can get Eli on one of our shows.
Maybe.
Yeah,
So
sure.
shout out Eli to you as well.
Well done, Eli. Keep it up.
Yeah.
mate.
Enough of that, Nico. I'll get it back to you so we can get some.
Well, so I've got a question for you guys. Has
we get
anyone ever seen Wayne Bennett come out publicly and trash one of his players?
Never.
Because he's dropped Anthony Milford from the
Wow.
starting lineup this week and publicly stated on NRL 360 last night that he's just not up to scratch
Big
and
statement.
he needs to make a decision along the lines of he needs to make a decision about what he wants to do with his life and whether he wants to take this seriously or not. And that's to come out and say that on camera. It's obviously a tactic by Wayne to try and light a fire under his ass, but interesting because he's a man of few words.
Yeah.
You rarely see him come out and make statements like that. What do you guys think?
And it's not just any player; it's his marquee, isn't it? Like he was chasing him, he got him, hoping he'd lead the halves, and dropped him first week.
He's obviously disappointed with him. I mean, your fitness doesn't become an issue a week or two before
Yeah,
the game.
exactly. Yeah. And if you think if any coach is going to get the best out of him, it would be Wayne. And for him to still not be aiming up, it's a big concern.
I think the last time we saw the MILF play good footy was under Wayne at the Broncos
Yes,
when they
you're
made
right.
the grand final, 2015. 15? Yeah, 2015. Yeah.
You know what? Maybe when St George were making those negotiations with Ben Hunt, Dolphins should have gone hard for Hunt, and they would have got Hunt and Milford, and it would have been the same combination that Bennett had in that grand final. They might have.
What do you think, George?
Pretty disappointing.
Yeah.
He's a talent. He's a talent. He's
Well,
still.
that's why it's disappointing because he hasn't showed up. I'd say for the last 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
Look, a kid with a lot of talent,
Mm.
a lot of talent, and that's what I talk about. It gusts me when I see guys who've got talent who are young and that they come into the league and just sheer talent. They look good, but at some stage they've got to work hard, and they refuse to work hard. Now he's had paydays. He's had paydays over his
Big paydays.
Yeah, paydays. So I guess money isn't the issue for him. But you know what? If he wants to play park football next year, I can guarantee
But
you,
let's not
Bennett,
forget-
Bennett will do that.
Let's not forget he had his off-field issues and was basically rubbed out of the game. And then it was Newcastle, wasn't it? Who threw him a lifeline.
I think he went and played for Newcastle.
And-
He didn't play well.
And no, but
Did
it was
okay.
for him to go there. He was obviously wanting to play first grade again,
Mm.
and now he's got the opportunity of a lifetime,
Yes.
and he doesn't seem to have taken it.
How old is he?
Silly boy.
He's early 30s, isn't he?
Is he
Oh,
got?
okay.
I think I don't know for sure.
He's
but
into his 30s. Okay.
I think so.
Okay. So
He's been around a long time. Don't forget when he debuted with Canberra, it was a long time ago.
okay.
Yeah.
So this is what I say. Okay. Shame on you, Mr. Milf, because you've got an opportunity, and you've got something that unfortunately I wish I had, bit of talent. Now talent doesn't get you anywhere without hard work. So you know what? Pull your finger out of your bib, all right? Work hard, okay, and get on that field and prove something not only to your team but to the fans and to yourself. Because you know what? A career wasted. You know what? You've got money. Good on you. Good boy. But your legacy won't be left behind. You'll be, oh yeah, MILF.
So I thought it was early 30s. Artie, you said he was 28.
28.
28.
Yeah.
No.
So he's at his peak.
He's
He's
got
No.
he's got years
Oh
left
my God. Then what I said, times 2 then. Okay.
because
Times 2.
because 28 is basically the peak age of any half, right?
Yeah, between 28 and 32.
32, yeah.
32. And now you can argue 33. Okay, but you know what? You're a thief then, Milford. You're a thief. Give the money back. What you've produced the last 4 to 5 years, give the money back.
How many years has he signed for the Dolphins? Do you know?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, if he doesn't cut it in the Dolphins, his next step's Super League in England, and that's if they want to get him. You know
Yeah,
what I
his name eludes me at the moment, but there's big raps on the youngster who's been named ahead of him.
Yeah.
in that.
Okay, so he's a
Isaiah.
Penrith youngster.
Mm.
He's very young still. But let me tell you, the reports that I haven't seen him. I have seen him in the Reggie last year. But what I've heard that he's a very special
So
young
he
man.
would have some sort of pre-existing relationship with O'Sullivan then.
Yes, yeah.
Both
last
coming
year.
together.
Yeah, last year they played in the Reggies.
That's pretty
That
good.
could be a good combination.
But what I hear in the actual talent, Nicola,
Yeah.
apparently, well, I heard one person say the best to come out of Penrith
Okay.
today.
Wow.
Yeah.
That good.
That's what I've heard. But very young and very raw. But you know what? Why not?
I
Why
reckon
just
the
throw him in there, because I've seen the SG ball for the Dolphins, and let me tell you, they've got some special.
You were saying
kids.
that, yeah. You're saying they've got some
special kids coming up.
It would be interesting, and we're going to touch on later. I want to talk about that whole Brisbane thing, but we'll touch on that later. One question I should probably direct to you, George, regarding the Bulldogs. Luke Thompson, bad news, out for the season.
Out for the season, yeah.
What kind of impact is that
Yeah.
going to have on it? Like, how big of a loss is he?
Very big. I was looking forward to seeing him this year, and why is because we got glimpses in the last few years of what he can do, but he wasn't consistent. And I was hoping with Mr. Popular and the people who he's got around him, and it's someone we need. Trust me, it's a position. And so Luke Thompson has got a really good leg speed for a front rower. He's got really good leg speed. He hasn't got like a lot of the forwards, but Papaliki in them. They've got late footwork at the line.
Yeah.
But he just goes through the line.
He's one of those guys that every team needs.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So I was looking forward to seeing him and to rise to a level which the Bulldogs actually need. Now he's gone for the year, unfortunately, and he's been injured a lot actually. The last 3 years, we haven't got too many games out of him.
Is he the Englishman?
Yeah,
he is, right? Yeah.
And when I would watch Super League, he stood out like a sore thumb, Nicola. He looked like either he was going to be every year the man of steel there,
Oh, they had big raps
or
on
he
him.
had to,
Yeah.
or he had to come to Australia to prove himself, and he did come to Australia. Okay, when I heard that, and it was a training. When I heard he got injured, I got gutted. I was looking forward to it, but look, it's like everybody's got injuries.
I know it happened at training, but even like we spoke about a couple of weeks ago, the last round of friendlies had so many casualties as well.
Yeah,
It's almost pointless.
you know, I'm not a fan of trial matches, but you know what? I think
You need them, though.
you need them.
Yeah.
No, you need them. You need them. You know what? I think this year, apparently, there's more than usual. You know what?
Really?
Yeah, that's what they said. There's more than
They only
usual.
played 2 games. I remember
But the
teams
thing
played
is,
3 or 4 games
like-
trials.
I agree with you. We do need them,
Mm.
but in reality, we only had one half of trial games.
Really, yeah.
The first week was all reserve players,
Yeah.
and the second week everyone played the first half.
Yeah, Nicola, I meant there's more injuries than usual. That's what I meant.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And
It
I-
seems that, yeah.
I think that a short off season, and what happens is the trainers get them in, and they've got a shorter window to get them up to a certain fitness level. Okay, they had a shorter rest as well, so I think that because it all got compacted, their fitness. This is just me.
No,
talking.
it's a really good point.
That's just me talking
because
out of my ass.
a lot of the representative players who were in the World Cup came back
January.
and trained about 4 weeks.
January.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're right. It's a really good
So
point.
they had 6 weeks to get them up to what they do in sort of 3-ish months.
Yeah.
Okay, so they had to really accelerate their apparently they had to accelerate their fitness, and I believe, and I know the only team that I really follow their fitness is the Panthers, and they really accelerated them apparently. Really
Well,
accelerated.
I don't know what happened out at Parramatta in pre-season, but there was 2 broken jaws
2 broken jaws, yeah,
Yeah.
because they do contact, because the contact
and
the
a broken arm. Yeah.
Really? So the contact they do is genuine contact now,
Yeah.
not back in the day. Now they'll stop it now a little bit, but yeah, they do genuine contact.
Change it to OzTag. Make it trial games to OzTag games.
That's English rugby. Mind you, I saw English rugby, and you know the tackling below the waist.
Yeah.
It's actually a thing, but there's only one small minute problem. In rugby, there's rucks and mauls. Well, what's the difference? They'll go and ruck and maul, so they do tackle them like around the waist, but then someone falls on them.
Yeah.
So I don't get it. I don't get it. But anyway, we'll move on.
Let's for our fans and listeners out there, let's get George G'd up a little bit because
Oh,
I
no, what have I
always
done
love
now?
watching George get
done
worked
now?
up. There's a couple of points we're going to touch on with the salary cap. The first one is that the Roosters are seeking a salary cap exemption
Of course they are.
for Angus Crichton
Of course.
on the basis of mental illness. Are we opening a can of worms here? What do you guys think about that?
Well,
Absolutely.
Number one, let me address the mental illness thing because I already know this is close to my heart. I don't know the circumstances. We've heard rumours, but we don't know the circumstances. So if the man is got issues mentally, let's support him, and I think the Roosters are supporting him.
That's right.
That club's first class when it comes to, and most of them are.
Yeah.
In this day and age.
You know, the issue is this: with mental illness, we don't know. So I say no, 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 no. But in 10 years, what happens if we find out that we should have given him more support?
But see, here's my thing, right? And this is where I think people are confusing the issue. It's two separate issues. The first issue is there's a mental illness problem. His welfare is obviously the priority. Is he being supported? In this day and age, every player is. We know that, right? But that's really got nothing to do with the salary cap.
I agree. No, I said
you know what I mean?
No,
so
exactly.
yeah. So and I don't think, and I think it's two separate issues. Like, we address that one that needs all the attention it deserves. In terms of the salary cap, if a player does an ACL, do they get a salary cap exemption for the season?
No.
What's the difference?
Yeah, no, I agree. No.
And I'm not. And again, I'm looking at it as black and white, right? Regardless of what the reason is, the player's unavailable. Might not be mental illness. Could be a death in the family or something.
Yeah.
Are we opening the door for exemptions left and right for all different reasons?
We are, definitely.
We are. You know what? They're getting a lot, and they've got a lot from the new CBA. And of course, and I don't want to, of course, driven by the Roosters. Look, they've tried it. I'm pretty sure the NRL is going to say no. And I say no, and I'm pretty sure Arthur says no, and I'm pretty sure that Nico says no as well.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Do you think that Cody Ramsey Saints should get compensated for him? He's got an illness that's going to keep him out for the whole year with the stomach. He's definitely out for the year. Are they going to get this compensated? No.
But it's also, and without, I've got to tread carefully here with what I'm going to say, but what worries me is that there's a grey area there as well, because we might start seeing players playing up and hiding behind the mental illness.
For sure.
For
sure.
That's exactly right.
Which is supposed to forgive everything then at that point.
Well, it's simple. I think Kumpado Volandis have sort of tentatively said no, and I think that's the way it should go.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
No. But hey, good on them for trying. Good on the Roosters for trying.
So you didn't get as worked up as I hoped you would, but we're gonna talk more about the cap after. So hopefully, I want to see him sweat. Just some signing news as well today. So Mike Acevo extended with the Eels for another 2 seasons.
That's good.
Victor Radley is officially re-signed with the Roosters for a further 4 years.
Awesome.
Jesse Ramian, the Sharks have extended him on a 3-year deal.
That's pretty good.
And this is a few days old, and it's unconfirmed, but the Roosters have signed Spencer Lenu from the Panthers for next season.
Yeah, how they do that?
Well, Jared Hargraves finishes this year, so he takes his spot. It's pretty straightforward.
They haven't confirmed that he's leaving, though.
Yeah.
Well, his contract's finished, though.
Yeah, but they might extend him too.
No,
he's 30-something years old.
So Roosters have got a deal a deal swap with Catalans.
Yeah.
Because Rolbo's wife's French. I don't know if you know.
For Jared Hargraves.
So what they've done is, what they do is they send youngsters there, or they bring French kids, youngsters here, and put them in their pathways. Now I wanted to ask what pathways, but anyway,
they have, man.
The Central Coast.
Come on,
yeah. Got to tell me the Central Coast. But anyway, so what they've done is they've made a deal with Catalans to take him for a 2-year
Jared
deal. Yeah.
See, there you go. That's smart.
Yep.
They did the same with Tedesco. They got rid of TWAS they brought in Tedesco. They got rid of Mitchell Pearce. They brought in Cronk. They're just smart.
I've often said the Roosters, and everybody jokes about it, the sombrero and all the rest of it. They're probably the most under the heat lamp spotlight of any club when it comes to salary cap.
Yep.
Never been pinned for doing a thing wrong.
Exactly.
Never.
I think it's just a testament to how well run that club is.
Yeah.
Oh, look, the board, Nick Politis, what's his name, Mark Boris, and that board is rock solid.
There's
They're full of business acromens.
There's too much attention on that club that if they were doing something wrong, they would have been picked up by now.
Yeah, I like how a lot of people always are quick to pick on these Roosters when they buy a player, but when they lose a quality player, it's
No
never
one talks
mentioned.
about
You
it.
know what I mean?
No.
So that's
Somehow
annoying.
when they lose a quality player, they got two to
Exactly,
because
but they're smart. They plan ahead.
They forget they're getting a winger as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, but don't forget, George, they've got the best. They've got
Tupou's old too. Anyway, he's only got a year or two left.
They've got the best junior development out at Penrith there.
They've got one team.
Out at Penrith.
Isn't that Canterbury's
They've got the best pathways. Pathways starts at the M4.
The pathways. Their pathways. Gee.
But look, speaking of, this one's real interesting. Two big scalps for Wayne Bennett and the Dolphins in Herbie Farnworth and Thomas Flegler.
Yep.
Flegler. I can never pronounce it. So signed them both, pickpocketed at Brisbane. Signed them both from the Broncos for next season. Now, this is interesting. I want to get you guys' take on this because the Broncos have operated, largely unopposed for their, 30 years or whatever it is, 35 years. Now they're in a situation where they need to share the nursery of Brisbane. How's this going to play out? And everyone knows the history between Wayne and the Broncos, so there's that spiteful thing there. But
exactly.
How do you guys think this is going to impact the Broncos, or will it impact the Broncos?
Artie?
The concern is for the Brisbane Broncos. They've lost those two, and for them to, it's a huge concern. And I think Bennett's got a whiff that players aren't happy there, and he's just taking what he can at the moment because you had Selwyn come out with those comments, then you've got these two guys going. It's a huge concern. If I was the Broncos, I'd be worried. Why are these guys leaving? You know what I mean?
What of the relationship between Bennett and Kevy Walters? Because they do have a good relationship.
Well, Bennett's son-in-law is CEO, isn't it?
And they don't talk.
Oh, don't they?
No.
Ben Eichen. Okay,
No.
I never knew that. But his own son-in-law's in charge of the Broncos.
So it's
really weird.
It's interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is.
Okay. So let me address the two players. Herbie Farnsworth wanted to play fullback, and they bought the youngster from
Reece Walsh.
They bought Reece Walsh, so he worked out that he's not going to play fullback. So I'm assuming he's going there with fullback money, but he made the English team, and let me tell you, and not only the international, even last year when he was playing for the Broncos. He's pretty good.
He's very good.
He's a good player.
And you know what? He's very young, and not only he's very young, and the best is yet to come. So, Supercoach has got a good one there. Now Flegler, everybody was going for Flegler.
Yeah,
Flegler.
The Roosters as well were in for it. Yeah.
So Payne Haas is what you see is what you get. He's not going to get any better. He's not going to get any worse. Okay. What he does is very good. Okay.
I'd be happy to have him with
too,
me too.
Yeah. But Flegler, we don't know where he's going to go. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's just a smidgen under Payne Haas. He's younger than Haas. Okay, and he's got a higher ceiling. Okay, he's a very good player. He's an aggressive player. He's a real dog. This guy. Okay, he does what you want. He gets the meters. If you get him a little offload on him, okay, then you've got a international front row, which I think he'll play international up Origin anyway. Okay, now the question about the basement there, all the feeder clubs there.
Yeah.
Okay, guess what? Brisbane have to fight now to get youngsters.
Yeah.
Because when they're going to see a Broncos polo, they're going to be seeing a Dolphins polo as well. Looking at the kids, looking at all their junior clubs.
There'll be a few interesting nights at local pubs in Brisbane. There'll probably be a few flare-ups between rival gangs.
Probably. The thing is, can I just underpin this, bud? The number one brand in Queensland is still the Broncos.
Oh, without fail.
Yeah. And the richest club in the league is the Broncos.
It's going to take a lot to unseat
so,
that.
Yes.
But
so if they do the right thing, Nicola, they'll still be number one. But you know what? There's going to be a red polo right behind the yellow one with a dolphin on the.
I really want to see the Dolphins do well. It's going to take a few years. It's not going to happen overnight, right? But just imagine when those two teams are top 4 teams.
There will be.
Imagine the local derbies.
Oh.
Imagine the rivalries. Like that's going to be sensational for the game. It's going to be awesome.
And that's why there should be another there should have been another Queensland team. And
Yeah.
look, there's so many youngsters up there. Let's get real. There's 2 teams in a 4 million people market.
Yeah.
I mean, and Gold Coast, for some reason, they don't have them as a Brisbane team. I think they are, but they don't have them as a Brisbane team.
Yeah.
And North Queensland is North Queensland.
Well, North Queensland's that's
separate
far
scenario.
away. Yeah.
So there's 2 teams in a 4 million people state, and we've got how many? 12 teams in a 5 million.
Something like that. Yeah.
So they've got kids galore up there.
And that's with a couple of mergers too.
Yeah, and they got kids galore, so they'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be both fine. But you know what? When they do introduce another team, which they will eventually, then they'll start shitting themselves, Nicola.
All right. Well, I'm going to try again, George. I'm going to try again with George because he's too calm tonight. I'm not liking this, so I'm going to take another swing. Let's talk about players' salaries.
Ooh,
Should they be made public?
yes,
And we're talking about not just the base salary, but we're talking about third-party deals as well.
absolutely.
Why?
Well, number one, okay. Now let's put the basic things because it will make me more comfortable to know that the Roosters, that the Bulldogs, that the Dragons are under the cap. Okay, because the other alternative is get rid of the cap. Now we talk about them. Their privacy and this and that, and the poor guy who makes $150,000. The poor guy who makes $150,000 usually is 18. He's usually 18. Most of these players that I see, no one's under 400K.
No.
Okay, guess what? I wish.
It's what we said last week.
I wish.
The players on 150, 200, they're the ones we don't see.
Yeah. Everything should be transparent. Not only the teams, the league, the NRL should be transparent. But you didn't ask me about that. That's for another day. Everything should be out on the table. Third parties, someone who gave you a Band-Aid. Everything should be out on the table so we know exactly what's happening. And you know what? Just for the fans, because guess what? If we turn off the television or don't go to the ground, they're not going to get $400,000 or $500,000 anymore. Okay, I want to know. Okay, this speculation about the Roosters and brown paper bags and all the other things is, well, guess what? It's put to bed. It's put to bed.
It's like what Artie was saying earlier. It's just easy to do. Like for fans, it's easy just to sling shit at these other club brown paper bags. It's an easy thing to say. Oh, the Roosters must be cheating the cap because they're always successful and they're always signing players. But there is a method to the madness.
There is.
The way they manage their cap, their roster.
Yeah. It's a personal thing too, mate. You don't want your salary, everyone knowing what your salary
Look, I
is.
wouldn't. I mean, as a fan, I'd love to see it.
Yeah,
but personally, I wouldn't want people to know what I'm earning.
Exactly.
Do you realise?
But I think every other club should know what other clubs are paying for their players, just within the clubs. But I don't think we need to know.
On that, do realise that most European countries, if you want to know how much you or I whatever make, you can go and Google it and it'll be there for all to see. Okay.
I still don't think it's right.
But there's no salary cap.
Because I meant mums and dads.
Yeah, but because
I meant mums and dads. I didn't mean sporting.
Oh,
people.
really?
Yeah. Okay. And sporting people, we're the only country. We're the only country with professional sport, which we don't know. We're the only country. I googled it.
Oh,
And I'm talking top line countries. All the American sports, forget about it. American sports are all open and transparent. Okay. Do you know how much most of your soccer team in Liverpool get?
Oh, I'm sure you can find out.
They're all transparent. It's all transparent.
Yeah.
It's all transparent. So we're back again. Like I said, NRL is like sort of halfway in. We're sort of a professional game, but we're sort of not a professional game.
But see that right there. So Artie's a mad Liverpool supporter. I'm a mad Napoli supporter. We probably don't know what the main players are earning, but we don't care because there's no cap.
Exactly.
Right? And I think the cap is what changes that conversation a bit.
Yes.
That's right.
I don't know. What do you think?
Because all the teams have to stick to a limit, and you want to make sure all the teams are sticking to that limit.
Yeah.
Whereas in soccer and that, there's no limit.
Well,
We just don't care.
It doesn't
It's
care.
easy. It's easy. Is East under the cap?
Yeah, well, they're not
I'm
fine.
positive. I'm
Do you
positive they are.
think
They are.
East are under the cap?
Yes.
So you think they're under the cap?
Yes. The third-party deals, I don't know what that's about. That's what's probably
The
driving
third
all
party,
this.
and I believe
That's what's driving all this, which is
well,
wrong.
I believe third party should be open.
Exactly.
Okay, and I don't believe in the cap, but in a cap. Anyway, third party should be open.
I'd
okay?
love that one to be open. I'd rather know what the third parties are offering rather than the
without
salaries.
knowing the base. Yeah,
Exactly.
So you're telling me what's the cap again? 12 million?
12 and a half.
12 and a half.
Yeah.
So and they get it from the league anyway.
Yes.
They don't put it in their pocket. So you're telling me the club doesn't pay anything extras.
Yeah, the third parties. That's what I'm saying.
Well, no, the club can't pay third parties.
The club's not supposed to be involved
Yeah.
with the third
Yeah,
party.
that's Nike. That's whatever.
Mind you, they're the ones who set it up, but they're not supposed to know anything about it.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous
Okay.
unto itself.
I don't believe 50% of the clubs are under the cap. I believe 50% of the clubs put their hand in their pocket, and they might give it to Nick, the money, to give to Jimmy Jones, but I believe that's happening.
But to be
Okay.
fair, exactly what you just said, it's not just the Roosters.
Oh no,
Yeah.
no.
Let's not think that, yeah.
No. But all I'm saying to you, if you're going to have a salary cap, you got to have a draft. You don't have the draft,
Yeah.
or you got a police. Not Schuberg by himself behind a computer. I mean, no disrespect to Schuby.
Yeah, but George, a lot of people aren't going to the Roosters for dollars. They don't have to pay overs. They're going there because they're going to a good club. They're paying,
true too.
players are taking cuts because they know they're going to get success. So where would you rather go, Tigers or Roosters? And
Undoubtedly.
they're going to offer you
Undoubtedly.
a couple $100,000 and go to the Roosters.
And the reason that they are going to the Roosters is the relationships they make.
Exactly.
In the long term, they meet Nick Politis. They meet relevant businessmen in the eastern suburbs. Mark Burris. They meet
Influential people.
That's
Smart.
right. And then when there's life after
Exactly
life
right.
after. I agree. I don't disagree with that. But who says that Canterbury, Penrith, they're not these caliber people as well? I can guarantee you that Canterbury will have these caliber people. Penrith have got to have these. Maybe it's the western suburbs.
Canterbury's a great example. Phil Gould cleaned out that roster to the point where last season, I think it was, he said, we've got 8 players signed for the following 2 years. So he made room to literally go out on a spending spree. And he came out yesterday and he said, we've still got money to splash on another marquee player.
I'm sure I don't know how, but he
Well,
knows
it's
his
smart
numbers.
operating.
Yeah, he is.
It's smart operating.
And look, when we're talking Roosters, they're the best run club in the country. There's no
Undoubtedly.
doubt about it.
And they're in Bondi, mate. So everyone wants to go live in Bondi.
I agree. Everyone wants to
They're
live
in prime real
yeah.
estate too.
No, I don't
Got
disagree
everything.
with that. But listen, with living in Bondi, there's a price tag to that as
Exactly.
well.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got Moses Borkin for a couple of $100,000 here,
Mm.
and we're talking that Cheese could have went for 1.2. No, it's okay. I'll go for 650.
1.2. Nah, Cheese would never have got 1.2.
Cheese would have went to the Dolphins one.
Did they offer him that much? I don't think they offered him that much.
One then.
Oh, okay, I know. I thought they would have
Who
gone
knows?
max 800, but not.
Who
not
knows?
1.2.
No, they're looking for Marquee. Yeah, they're looking. I'm not saying he's worth it. I'm just saying they're looking for Marquee.
I know Munster was offered that much, but not the
Munster
Cheese.
wasn't he offered 1.4?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
He was
stayed
offered
for
those ponies, but
800,
not Brandon. Harry Grant would have been under as well, about 900, which is still more than any other hooker.
Personally, I'd give Brandon Smith $1 million.
Yeah, me too. All we're talking about is transparent. You know
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
You know what? People like me who the first thing they do when they wake up, unfortunately, is think rugby league. Unfortunately, I wish it wasn't. Okay, and the last thing I do when I go to bed, I think about rugby league. Okay, unfortunately, these things actually worry me. They worry me more than my mortgage. Okay, so they should put the public, and there's a lot of me.
Yeah.
There's a lot of me.
Yeah.
Okay. They should put people in some sort of calmness, in some sort of space where I believe the Roosters. I don't believe the Roosters.
Well, they've got a salary cap auditor, the guy that's on top of it all, supposed to be on top of it all, and making sure that they're all legit. So that's supposed to be laying, and he's caught out Melbourne and Canterbury in the past for doing it. So why wouldn't he have caught the Roosters?
You do realise everybody's been caught out. Okay, they've been whistleblowers. No one's been caught out. There's been whistleblowers, and the minor things that have been caught out, the very minor things which have been caught out, the 2 books, whatever. Okay, the Parramatta thing. Okay,
I can't let you guys go on without jumping in here
please.
and saying that Parramatta were caught cheating the salary cap and they finished last before they got caught. So explain that one to me.
That was just
You
bad
cheating the
management,
cap
right?
and you finished last.
They came then they what the other year did they make the 4 or something? The
Yeah,
top 4?
yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So,
But
Look, I don't know. Look, I'd like to see everything transparent. I understand how you guys can say that I don't want my salary cap. I don't want my salary to be known to everybody. But we're not talking 60 or 70 grand. We're talking supposedly, above $500,000.
in all honesty, for me, I really don't care. It doesn't bother
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
It doesn't bother me.
what worries me more than anything in the salary cap is how we've got Penrith being stripped now. That worries me more, how a team can develop juniors.
Okay.
That's more of a bugbear to me than people
So-
cheating the cap.
This is where it starts and ends for me. I've got a bugbear. I watched, undoubtedly, no one can deny this, the best rugby league team in the world last year. Okay.
Yep.
Now, instead of getting the team who came second and third and fourth and fifth and sixth to inspire to be the best rugby league team in the world. No, what we'll do is we'll strip the best rugby league team. We'll bring him back a notch. And guess what? Everybody can think that we've all got a chance now to win. We don't have to improve because guess what? Every commentator, every person I've heard say, "Oh, look, Penrith are not the same," and I've said it. Penrith are not the same team that they're going to be. We've got a chance. Well, no, that's the wrong way of thinking. Let's improve. Let's inspire to be like Penrith.
Yeah.
But to
But
be
what
fair,
are we talking
but
about?
to be fair, that's the system, right? So
Yeah,
the successful
mean
teams,
right.
the successful teams get penalised for their success. The minute you win a grand final, the value goes up. Penrith have won
so-
2 back-to-back.
Nice.
Their value goes up. The Bulldogs signed Crichton. He publicly stated he didn't want to leave the club, but he's being pushed out.
Exactly.
Crichton
Crichton,
Yeah.
Stephen Crichton.
didn't want to leave the club.
He
He said.
didn't
He
want to
said
leave
it
the club.
yesterday. He said, "I didn't leave for money. I didn't leave for a positional switch. I actually didn't want to leave at all, but the club didn't come to the table with an offer.
No,
Because
they
they can't.
came at table. They came at table.
Not with
the
an offer that was acceptable."
We'll take unders if you want to stay.
Yeah, well, that's not. I mean,
What? Roosters' whole team is unders.
yeah, but
Apparently.
no, but that's not them being stripped. Then I mean, he's got an option to stay. He's choosing not to, right? He doesn't want to take unders.
He doesn't
Why
want
would
to
he?
take unders.
Why would he?
Well, I don't know. There's 15 wearing Rooster on their badge, which are. So what's the difference?
Yeah,
because-
but all these Panthers group, they've got 2 premiership rings now. So, in all honesty, if they never win another one again, does it even matter?
Exactly. Good point.
Well, no, it shouldn't matter. They're young men, and they just got flogged against a reserve grade team, in my view. So they shouldn't matter.
Should we have an exemption for junior?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
development?
That
I
should
mean, that's
always have been the case.
Common sense, right?
Okay, anyone who's a junior, exemption. Anyone who's played in one club over 6 years,
Tenure.
which is hard years.
Yeah.
I'm not, maybe not 0, but half. Okay, and if you raise a youngster and someone wants to buy a youngster, transfer fee
I know
and hefty transfer fee.
that I'm going archaic here, and a lot of people won't know what I'm talking about. But I think back to when I was a kid, and I remember seeing Bob Fulton run out in a Roosters jersey. I remember seeing Fatty Vaughton run out in a Roosters jersey. I remember seeing Ricky Stewart and Brad Clyde run out in the Bulldogs jersey.
Mm-hmm.
It was just wrong. But all those guys were forced out of their club
Oh, forced out.
after 10, 12 seasons
Yeah,
because they couldn't keep. That's just wrong.
that's wrong. That's wrong.
If you want to leave, that's one thing, but you shouldn't be forced out
No,
Yeah,
I agree. And
after spending your whole career in one club.
well, let's think about the Penrith scenario. Okay, these are boys who met at 13, 14 years old. Okay, they spent all their lives together. And you know what? They just happen to be good.
Mm.
They just happen to be good. Okay, and I'm sure this will happen again. Okay, and it could happen to the Warriors. Could happen to the Warriors. Okay, but they got to this stage, and yeah, sure, they've had success. They've won a couple of comps. Okay, but they're only 23, 24.
Yeah.
There's more comps to be won.
No, look, I hope not. But yeah, I hear you.
but as you said, they've got no option.
Yeah,
They've got an
I
option.
think it's wrong.
And everybody who signed, let me tell you, okay, because I know how much Taha signed. Okay, it was unders.
Yeah,
Because he wanted to stay, he wanted to repay. He said Penrith gave him everything. Okay, Cleary's got, I think he's under $1 million.
Mm.
no, he's 1.2.
He'll
Isn't he?
builds up to 1.2
Yeah.
in years to come. Right now, he's getting 900K. Put him on the market. What's he worth? If Brandon Smith's worth
He'd
1.4,
be the highest paid
okay,
paid player in the game.
so whatever. Even if he's getting 1.2, he's getting unders. Okay.
Yep.
So, look, I'm not a fan of the cap. I hate the cap actually because I think that it's restriction of trade. And
It is.
And if they took it to the courts,
wrong.
they'll fail.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you said. It's hard to argue with any of it. But I suppose the only other thing is everyone knows what they're getting into. It's not a surprise. It's not a secret.
No, it
The
isn't.
clubs who are becoming successful know what's around the corner. Even for a club like Parramatta, who didn't win anything but made the grand final, values went up.
Yeah.
You know,
they did.
And I'd prefer to have no salary cap at all, which we did once upon a time. The problem with that is that some clubs couldn't survive. And for me, I'm saying, well, if the club can't survive, maybe they shouldn't be in the competition.
Thank you very much, Nicola.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. You know what? The way to be a successful rugby league team, 90% of people think it happens between two goalposts. We all know it doesn't.
Happens off the field.
It happens upstairs in the office.
Yeah. Also, there is some players that do take unders and stay one club. We've had some in the past. We've had Darren Lockyer. He's been offered to go. You had Matt Cooper. You had Steve Menzies. You had quite a few great players that stayed.
Well,
so it's up to the player in the end to see if he wants to take unders and stay where he is.
At the end of the day, if Mitchell Moses decides to stay with Parramatta, he's giving up $2 million just there. You can look this up. You'll find it on YouTube. When Moses left the Tigers to join Parramatta in 2017, the Tigers offered him a 3-year deal for $3 million.
Oh, shit, back then.
He could have been $1 million player in 2018. He knocked it back to go to Parramatta for $750 because it wasn't about the money. It was about him developing his game. His words. It's Paul Kent talks about it on 360. You can find it on YouTube.
Yeah, no, I believe
So
it.
some players don't always put the money first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It depends on what their ambition is, their challenge.
You know what?
As well.
In a general sense, and we've gone off topic. In a general sense, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't seem right. And at the top of it is this. Okay, if I want to buy Monster, he might not come. I say to him 1.4, like the Dolphins said.
Look at the Dolphins, yeah.
And he'll say no. Okay, 1.6. No, 2 million.
Yeah.
Well, why? Why can't I do that?
You got no argument from me. If you can afford it, you should be
If
able
you
to
can
That's
afford
what
afford
I
it
mean.
and keep the other players.
That's
It's
what-
fine.
that's what I mean.
It's the old you're only as strong as your weakest link.
Yeah.
Like any convoy can only drive as fast as its slowest
Slowest
you know,
company.
whatever. The rich clubs or the clubs that have the money have to pull back for the ones that don't. That's the bottom line. You know, clubs like the Bulldogs, the Dragons, and the Eels can spend $20 million on a roster.
Yeah.
They can.
Yeah.
But then there's other clubs who can't.
Yeah, I hear you and I understand that. And you know what? If you look at the league, we're watching good rugby league and it seems to be competitive, which it's not. Because how many teams have won the GF the last 5 years? And you'll see they're all the same.
The
teams.
last 15 years.
Last 15 years.
Yeah.
So what difference is it to the Premier League? But anyway, we think we're watching a competitive league because what we want is at the start of every year or the middle of every year for you to think your team's got a chance to make the.
I think this season's
the
going to be one of the tightest, to be honest.
I think so
We
too,
hope so,
Nicola.
man.
I think
every
so.
year we think that. and
Last year was messy. The bottom
Yeah.
8 was very, very far away from the top 8. But look, let's have a look and we'll remember this conversation. Let's have it again
Yeah.
in Origin time.
George, you're on a roll. So why don't we move on with the sin bin segment?
The Sing Bin segment, it's a new segment, and I bring up a topic, which is, let's say, not your mainstream topic or off the pace, as I call it. And eventually we're going to have to start talking about an 18th franchise. and I'm pretty sure the conversations, and I'm pretty sure Buzz will start this. I'm sure the conversations will start this year. And in the next couple of months, I'll be proposing teams that I think should enter the competition.
Now, George,
Yeah,
just
here we go.
no, let me stop you right there, okay? We're talking about a franchise. Sorry, mate, keep
I
going.
love him. So I'm going out on a limb, but here's some compelling arguments for this particular team. Papua New Guinea.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got a massive following. Imagine them in the competition.
Papua New Guinea.
Be great.
No. Papua New Guinea should be the next franchise. And let me tell you, they've got 15,000 registered players. Tell you, don't worry about Penrith. 15,000 registered players.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Imagine it's the number one sport, and it's the only other country beside, well, it's not even a country. It's only, because what's the most popular sport in Australia? It's not rugby league, it's AFL.
AFL, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's the only country which rugby league is the number one sport.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay. It's got 250 junior rugby league clubs. Okay. They've already got a team in the Q Cup, don't forget.
Yes.
The Hunters.
Yep.
Okay. Look, the infrastructure might not be up to scratch. It's something that maybe the NRL and the government's got to work out something to build infrastructure. Let's say they need a stadium. I'm sure they haven't got a up to scratch stadium, and there might be some corruption, as we know there. But it's something like the NRL's got to go in. But just think of the youngsters. Think of the youngsters there, guys. Okay, don't forget they could have games right through the Pacifica. They could play in Samoa. They could play in Tonga. You know what I mean?
I'm going to be the party pooper here.
They can play in Fiji. Let me get my arguments, and you can go at me, Nicola. Okay. The government's behind the bid because they're looking in a 10-year window. I suggest to you it can happen in a 3-year window.
Wow.
I said if they fast forward it, I suggest it can happen. The school system, it's already got pathways. Because guess what? Every NRL club is in the school system, and they've set up better pathways than what we've got here in Sydney. The only thing that worries me is it is a third world country. It is. It's not Sydney. It's not Brisbane. But just the sheer weight of players, youngsters, and it's the number one sport in the country. It's got to be looked at. That's my opinion, guys. You guys.
So while George was, I was looking at the camera going, no. I'm against it personally.
Reason being?
Well, I mean, what do you guys think of the IRL?
The what?
The IRL.
International Rugby League.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
where does it end?
National Rugby League. Yeah.
We've already got New Zealand.
Mm.
We want to bring Papua New Guinea. We might as well merge with the Super League and just make it one big competition. I think, like Papua New Guinea, I think this logistically, think of the expenses. Flying teams back and forth.
But we did that with New Zealand
no
now.
different. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, where does it end? You know, you got the poor old Bears trying to get a club up and running. We got a market in Perth. We could have a market in Adelaide. Like, why are we looking overseas?
Because of 15,000 registered players.
That's a pretty impressive point.
280
You could say the same thing about England.
No, they haven't got 15,000 registered players.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, okay, Fiji then.
They're a small little country.
Yeah, but look how many of them are representing. What about Samoa?
Yeah, well, they can play in the Pacificas. And guess what?
So that's my point. Where does it end? That's my point.
But again, user thinking soccer. The whole world, yeah, because we need players. We've drained Sydney. We're draining Brisbane. Okay, we need to get more. They want more teams.
See, my view is the polar opposite. It's the complete antithesis of all of that. I want to strip it back. I want 12 to 14 teams. That's the competition I'd love to see. It's never going to happen.
Well,
Super League.
no.
Super League, exactly.
No. You know what? Last year, Arthur and me had this conversation. Sorry,
Yeah.
Artie and me had this conversation about having 2 divisions.
Yep.
Yeah.
Having
I reckon that could work.
A 12-team and a 10-team competition. And I liked it. I couldn't grasp it in terms of like I'm not on that pay grade. You know what I mean? I'm sure they can work it out.
Yeah.
I don't disagree. But what will happen is all the good players will gravitate to the top clubs. You know what I mean? Look, there's going to have to be another team.
There has to be.
There's going to have to in the next 5 years.
As soon as they announced the 17th team, the 18th was inevitable.
Yeah, and I'll be looking at the other regions in the upcoming shows.
And don't forget,
but Papua New Guinea's got a compelling argument.
don't forget, we got to a 20-team competition once upon a time,
Probably too many.
and it didn't work.
Yeah, too many.
We just introduced 2 teams this year, mate. You want to introduce another one?
2 teams.
Yeah, we've got the Dolphins and we've got the Penrith B team, which is now Canterbury. So we've got 2 Penrith teams and we've got Dolphins. So
Touche. But no. Imagine Penrith's a very good scenario here. They've got nowhere near the volume of kids playing the game, and see how much are filtering through. Imagine how many kids can come out through these.
But what's stopping NRL clubs going in and grabbing them now?
They actually are.
Yeah, there you go.
They actually are. But have you seen pictures when Australia goes and plays Papua New Guinea?
Yes, it's crazy.
It's
yeah.
crazy.
Maybe take some games out to there.
Have you seen when they play Origin? Everybody's got a jersey on.
Yeah.
I don't know. I honestly believe that eventually it will happen. Eventually there will be a team, and maybe I won't see it. Eventually there will be a team in Papua New Guinea, but I say sooner than later.
Maybe when they win the Premier Division, the reserve, they've got the Hunters team in there. Maybe when they start getting some success that way, then they can expand from that.
Because of the Hunters, on the back of that, that's why I believe they had a decent World Cup. I really do. I mean, they didn't get flogged.
This should be a like it, don't like it segment.
Well, that's why.
Can I just say one thing? I'm horribly stubborn and old fashioned when it comes to footy as well. I don't like seeing the change. The State of Origin, I can't wait for that episode when we talk about whether or not Samoans can be eligible to play. I can't wait for that night. But I'm just a little bit old fashioned. I don't like where the game's going. I'll be honest with you, I don't. It's just I've never liked the Warriors from day one since they were introduced into the competition.
Really?
Never. What purpose? Like seriously, what? It's not been a success. Now we can say, we've always had Kiwis do well in our competition, always. And if you look at the Warriors teams that have been successful, it was largely due to Australians playing in there.
And coaches, I think Cleary went to a grand final, didn't he?
Yeah. Daniel Anderson,
it's always when the Australian coaches take
I'm
over.
just, how long is a piece of string? Like, where else are we going to start looking?
The biggest component in any game is your cattle.
Of course.
In terms of,
but we've got no shortage of cattle here, though.
Well, I suggest to you that in the future we are going to have a shortage of cattle, and how some of the bottom teams can't all of a sudden improve themselves because of the lack of cattle, or because why can't the Dolphins be competitive? And you're going to tell me, how do you know they're not going to be competitive? Well, watch this space.
No, we all know they're not going to be competitive.
And that's fine.
Not early on.
And that's fine, yeah. For 2 years, they'll be struggling. But you know what? When you think of the future, and when you think where all the youngsters are, you've got to call it pathways, call it pipeline of kids coming through.
We've never had a shortage of talent. Never.
Well, I suggest to you we have, and what the stats I'm hearing. Forget Penrith. Okay, okay. Gus is going everywhere to find kids. There's nothing in his backyard, nothing in the Canterbury area. Once upon a time, a very strong area. Okay, we heard about South Sydney having to group half the city to make one competition. Okay, yeah, Illawarra and St George are lucky. Okay. and so is Cronulla. But I heard they rape Illawarra for youngsters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's all the way down to Canberra.
Cronulla's in the same region though as St George.
Yeah, okay, they're the same teams, and it's a big area. But what I'm suggesting to you, forget Brisbane. Like I said, 4 million people, 2 teams.
It's also worth noting on this, our differing opinions on this, is that it's our different approach to the game as well. I'm very narrow-minded when it comes to footy. I love watching first grade. I don't really give a shit about anything else. George loves the game. He wants to see development. He wants to see the international game. Yeah. George has got a much wider scope when it comes to the game as a whole. Like I said, I'm much more narrow-minded. I just focus on what I see on television.
But what you see on television will get diluted over the years.
It never has, but
Never has, yeah.
It never has.
And you're suggesting it never will?
How? Will it?
Oh yeah, you got to worry about these things because if we just put up our hands,
but we're not. We're not. Has there been a time in the game where we've ever been doing more for junior development than we are right now?
Well, now because they need cattle. They've worked out that they need cattle, and they can't go. You. I give $1 million each to bring them. They need to have kids coming through who are decent rugby league first graders, paying them unders until they get exactly what happened to Penrith. They get to a stage where they've got no choice. They got to move. You know what I mean? So yes, everybody's looking for youngsters. What can I say? All I know is there's got to be a strong flow coming through, and the numbers I see beside Penrith isn't all that strong.
I love the way you think, George. And just for the record, it's not just footy. Whenever I go to a concert, I never watch the opening act.
I do. I love the opening act.
Saying, yeah, that's just me. It's narrow-minded. I'm putting my hand up, right?
Anyway, my first offering is Papua New Guinea, and next week there'll be something else.
And that was very well researched, by the way. Yeah, he really did his homework on that one. And
thank you. I did actually.
And it's a solid argument. It really is.
Yeah.
It's going to happen one day.
It's a solid argument.
It won't happen in 5 years, but it's going to happen one day.
I can't wait till we argue about the state of origin. I can't wait for that episode.
It's going to happen.
Artie, who would you rather?
Oh, who would you rather? Before that, man, I've got some questions from the fans.
Shoot.
Yeah, the fan questions.
I looked at the spam filter and we had
folder
a few.
Again.
Yeah. So we've got a message here from Wayne from Redcliffe. He just wants to know what time are the Dolphins playing and where.
Is he going to show up?
He missed the trial game. He can't miss the NRL.
No,
come on, Wayne. Wayne, you can't do that to us.
Photo opportunity, Wayne.
Can't do it to us. Mrs. Arthur wants to know when Jacob's going to get a permanent half spot because the current Eels halves are rubbish.
Yeah, I reckon the Dolphins could use a backup hooker. What do you reckon?
There you go.
Well, no, is that Jake?
Jacob, yeah. I want to know when Jacob's going to get a run.
Does that remind you of a Bulldog episode we did, Nicola?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's funny because
which we need to go back and revisit as well.
Again.
That segment we had last week where we spoke about the fathers and their kids playing rugby, it must have had an impact because I've got another letter now from Mrs. Cleary saying, when's Jet Cleary going to play number 7? The current Panthers number 7's rubbish. Sack the coach.
I guess someone's been arguing with somebody. It's a bit weird
there, yeah. So, yeah, they're the 3 questions we got. So,
well, the mothers...
It's with family ties there.
Well, the mothers ring or emailing.
There you go, mate. We've got some mothers there. All right. Who would you rather or what would you rather? I'm going to put out to you guys. Okay. So, this is we're starting the rugby league now. So, I'll start with... What would you prefer, Monday night footy or Thursday night footy?
Oh. To be honest with you, I prefer Thursday.
Thursday?
To be honest with you, I prefer neither. I like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah. Mondays.
If you had to pick?
Mondays was always good because it gave you that Monday-itis. You always had the footy. But it just never really sat right with me. And I mean, Thursday, I'd rather go to the footy tomorrow night than wait for Friday.
Yep. Okay.
How different is Nick or me? You know what? Coming home Monday, watching footy, it's a little gem for me, a little present. It's a little present of a box, sitting down on a Monday. Look,
so no Thursday night, we're going to have Monday night. So you prefer that?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting, man.
Again, I'm going back to the old-fashioned, wrap it up on Sunday night, the round's over type thing. But it never is because you got to wait for the following night. And,
but you're gonna have dessert.
And then they announce team list the next day. After a game was played last night.
True.
I don't know.
Mate, you know what? For me, have rugby league every night.
Yeah. if you could.
Every night.
Yeah. My preference is. I mean, remember when it was just Saturday and Sunday?
Yeah, I do.
You had Johnny Peards, ABC. 2 o'clock on Saturday
It was
afternoons.
good. It was good.
great,
It was
yeah.
good. It was good.
And the
Love
State Bank big game.
There you go.
And then we have Wednesday night, the AMCO
Panasonic-
Cup. Panasonic Cup.
AMCO
Oh,
and
that
then
was awesome.
Panasonic
Yeah,
Cup.
they
Yeah.
were
Loved it.
fun. They were fun.
Loved it. And your team had to back up 2 days
Had
later.
to back
Didn't
up,
care.
yeah.
Well, bad luck.
And they went to work, Arthur.
That's it.
And they went to work, I think.
All right. As a fan of your club, all right, when do you like watching your club play? First game of the season? First game of the round? Or do you like them playing at the end? The last game.
For me, first.
You want to get it out of the way? Let's
I enjoy. It's akin to when your team gets knocked out of a competition. That's when I start enjoying it. Competition.
Okay.
Might get the game out of the way, sit back and enjoy the weekend.
Okay. All right. There you go.
Thank you.
You?
Thank you.
You don't care?
Thank you.
All
Just
right.
want to watch
But
rugby
you had to
league.
choose. You'd rather watch it at the beginning,
Friday.
first game, get out of the way,
Friday night.
and have the weekend
Friday
stress free?
Friday night. No, I don't stress. But Friday night.
Okay.
But thank you anytime.
All righty. What about Origin? Would you rather mid-seasons or go back to end of season?
Mid-season, every second Wednesday night. I love it, and I'll explain why. I love the fact that, first of all, I've never seen a team really get punished through the Origin series. They always complain about it. You know, the Broncos, the Storms, the teams that have large contingents of players who play Origin, they're still there at the end of the year. It doesn't really impact them. They might drop a game or two during a series, but they can afford to. And it does two things. It gives the lower teams a shot at grabbing a few points,
Yeah.
and it gives the underlings a chance to step up and play first grade. So I'm all for it. I like it. I like it midweek. I like it mid-season. That's just me. But then again, that's what I grew up watching. I'm a creature of habit.
No, I'm with Nick. I think it's an event. Origin's an event. Wednesdays, how traditionally it was.
Yep.
And you know what? The ratings don't lie.
Yeah.
When it's on Wednesdays, it's the biggest watched program in Australia of the whole year. 4 million viewers. If you do it on a weekend, whatever, it drops down to 2.
I never enjoyed the standalone Sunday night ones. They've done a couple. I didn't enjoy the. We didn't have a choice, but the November series in COVID.
Yeah, it's different.
But yeah, I used to get so excited during the day at school or at work.
Yeah.
But even that started to die off a little bit because it's not Origin anymore. But that's another
Separate
that's
issue.
a separate issue.
Oh, and on the back of that, I get excited all day. I can't wait to get home.
Yeah.
My wife Anna cooks something.
Yeah.
Something of let's say higher quality, and off we go. Yeah, it's an event for me as well at home.
There you go.
What about you, Arthur?
I like end of the season. I hate middle of the season.
Yeah.
I don't like it, mate.
Why?
I just hate it, to be honest. Teams on form, they've got momentum, and then all of a sudden Origin comes, players get injured, and then all of a sudden that team just misses out on winning a grand final or something.
No, I don't like what he
just
does to the
impacts.
NRL.
Yeah, I
But
don't like it.
I like the Origin series where it is now on Wednesdays. But you're right. I don't like what he does to the NRL. Split rounds and all that. I don't like that. But you asked me if I like the Origin
Yeah.
series.
That's what I do
Well,
like about it.
Split rounds?
Not the split rounds. I like the fact that Penrith will have to play 8 youngsters against the Titans or the Dolphins, and it gives them and at the end Penrith are still going to be there at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've not noticed the team really get affected.
Well, 2011, St George everyone stopped taking bets. They were minor premiers for 2011. After Origin came, they lost every game. They had a shocker. It was all because of Origin, and it just impacted them so badly.
But that I
and I
suppose.
hated it.
But no disrespect, but St George is a lot like Parramatta
Yeah.
and even the Bulldogs. Probably clubs that are not used to having big contingents
That's
in the
true.
Origin.
Yeah.
Whereas the ones that do, I mean, the Broncos have done it for decades.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
But,
they plan for it, yeah.
Mm. Yeah, okay. What about, I've got a couple of player ones now. Sterlo or Mortimer? Who do you prefer to those two?
What do you think?
Like a Paris supporter is, I don't even have to ask.
What do you think we're going to say?
That, this guy here.
Yeah.
This guy
I'll
here.
say Jacob Arthur.
Jacob Arthur?
Yeah.
I was going to say Sterlo.
Sterlo?
Because he controls.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he controls.
I mean, I
everything.
will, but really?
Yeah.
You're a Bulldogs man.
Yeah, but they're two different players. I mean, you still got to have someone controlling the game. Okay, Turby was, a lot of flair, chip and chase. He rarely controlled the game. He was just so brilliant. It was like Slippery Morris.
Yeah.
Okay.
Steve Morris, yeah.
I mean, he wasn't a controlling half, but I mean, he can chip and chase. He can, carve a team up. I mean, who was your 5'8" back then? Trudge? No.
Yeah, it would have been Trudgett. We had Perry Haddock. Not Perry Haddock.
So Trudgett was
Trudgett,
more of a control play. You didn't have to have Slippery as a controller.
suppose
Bar was more of a controlling
It
player.
depends on the team that you have around him as
Yeah,
well,
I guess
right?
so.
And the style of footy.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I'll say it again. One of the best players I've ever seen was P. Sterling. What I saw him do at the Cumberland Oval.
Yeah. Lucky last one, guys. Who would you rather? Benny Elias or Mario Fennick?
Oh, you're killing me.
Benny Elias.
Yeah.
In my opinion, he revolutionised the hooking role, and
He did.
I was always a big fan growing up
Yeah,
of Benny.
Benny.
I really liked that Balmain team of the 80s.
How good was it?
Awesome.
88.
It was great.
Yeah.
They never managed to win a comp, but
So sad.
You know how many times I
Pearce,
watched...
Siren, Roach, Elias, Brush. I mean, you sit here for half an hour and run off the names.
That grand final, you know how many times I've seen it? I just love watching that grand final.
They were not meant to win that game.
No, they weren't.
Yeah, you had Elias hitting the crossbar. You had Mick Neal tripping over his own, or was it Pearce tripped over his own feet? Like, they were not meant to win that game.
Didn't Benny hit the post? On the
crossbar.
Oh, the crossbar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, you said it. Yeah. No, just what a and the Walk thought some of the players were tired, so he took them off. He took.
Funny story. You remember when Gary Jack had Gary Jack score in Burwood?
Yes.
I used to go there every Thursday night with a friend, and Gary, he just used to love talking.
Yeah, of course.
We'd be at the back of the store. He just used to love talking footy. And one night we were there when he was actually closing up, and he was behind the counter. And I asked him, I said, Gaz, I said, that grand final when Roach and Sirenham, when the Walk took them off, what happened? I know you've probably been asked this 1,000 times, and I'll never forget the look on his face. He put both hands on the counter and he just looked at me and he goes, he thought they were tired.
Simple as that.
And and just like gutted from it. And even Mal Meninga's been on record saying when we saw those guys going off, the whole team lifted.
Yeah. He said that. Yeah.
So that was dare I say a call the Walk would like to have taken back.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of good things, but that one,
Yeah.
that one's screaming. That one's a blaring mistake. What do you do?
Yeah.
No, that was good. That was good, Arthur. I'm
That's
sticking with Jacob Arthur for.
Thank you, Eddie. That was good.
Just a few things for round one. Turbo's back.
Yes.
Tommy Trbojevic. First game since round 11 of last year.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
So, you know what? Everyone's going to be holding their breath.
Yeah.
Every time he cuts the ball up, everyone's going to be holding their breath, Manly supporter or not.
Yeah.
And I hope for his sake he can just get through a season without any disruptions.
I hope so.
I really do.
I hope so because the enjoyment that he'll give all of us, especially me, is endless. So longer he stays on, better it is for everybody, for Manly, for rugby league.
John Bateman has arrived for the Tigers.
Mm-hmm.
He was never going to play round one because he hasn't had any preseason with him. But he could be out for up to a month.
Really?
With a minor injury that he's carried with him. This is from Tim Sheens. So he could miss up to a month.
Wow.
Which probably you'd want him to have a month under his belt before he runs out anyway, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
If you're playing the long game.
Yeah, true.
Maybe they can't afford to play the long game, but
you know what? When it comes to John Bateman, I don't get it in a way, and I'll tell you why. No doubt when he was at Canberra, he had a season, maybe a season and a half of very good rugby league. But since then, I mean, Leeds were happy. Leeds were happy to get rid of him.
Interestingly, I heard the same thing through various reports that they were happy to get rid of him, and apparently he wasn't doing too well.
He wasn't doing good, and I watched Super League, and let me tell you, it was. I'm looking. I'm thinking, is this the same person I saw in Canberra? So, look, I think he might be hit and miss. If they hit it, he'll be very good. If he hit it, he'll be very good. But if he goes astray, it's a lot of money in the cab going astray, and we know his history. He likes his money.
Yeah, yeah.
We know that as a rule.
And also, unfortunately, Nico Hines has been ruled out for the Sharks.
Yeah,
with a calf complaint.
Huge loss.
Big loss.
Yeah,
big loss.
So
maybe 2 weeks, I reckon. So
yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens there.
You know what? I was thinking about that Cronulla team, and don't get me wrong, I love that Cronulla team, and they're loaded, fully loaded. But how many superstars have they really got? Superstars.
That's where Fitzgibbon's going to wave his magic wand. I think he's going to create some.
Create some.
Yeah.
It's a quality coach, mate. He's really good.
Oh no! Don't get me wrong now. No,
you're right. If you look through the roster,
but
I mean,
how many
Hines,
superstars have they got?
Hines, and who else? Really,
they're all very good rugby league players. Don't get me wrong.
I like the fullback Will Kennedy. I think that he's very underrated. He's a fantastic player.
Yeah,
I think he's really
I think
good.
he's injured. He's injured too.
I thought he was named.
Was he named?
I don't know.
I hope so.
We'll go through the list anyway.
I hope so. I can't
I don't know.
I can't wait to run through them.
Do we want to run through that now?
We doing tips?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
You forgot to mention another signing this week.
Who's that?
Paul Turner signed for St George.
Paul Turner.
Who's that?
Exactly. Who's that?
The son of Mr. and Mrs.
No.
Turner.
Apparently, he's a utility player from the Titans. He just signed earlier this week
Is he a
on the
youngster?
weekend.
Is he a youngster?
No, he played for the Warriors. I think the Titans. I think 6 games or something. He's about 22, 23.
Okay.
Has he debuted first grade?
He's played for the Titans 6 games.
When?
A couple of years ago or something, but he's been in their system.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interestingly, there's reports from late this afternoon that the Broncos are going in for David Fafita to bring him back to the club.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's still tossing and turning. Where he's going,
The Broncos?
Yeah.
Didn't he leave the Broncos?
Yes.
Yeah.
But under a different coach.
Yeah. I get it. Yeah.
Well, they've lost Fegler now and the other guy, so they've got money to get Fafita.
Okay. I don't think he'll leave the Titans. Number one.
I thought he was close to going to the Raiders.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
that
think
kind of went quiet.
Yeah, I think he's happy with Foz. I think he believes that he's going to have a good season this year. If he has a good season, he's not going anywhere.
It wouldn't be for this season. It'd be for next season.
I realise that, and what I believe is the Titans are really trying hard to get his girlfriend over.
Yeah. I think she plays in the NRLW. Yeah. So there's
Raiders. Yeah, but they're trying really hard.
But that wouldn't really affect Brisbane or the Gold Coast, would it? If he's playing for the Gold Coast or if he's playing for Brisbane.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's not going to be with her. He's not going to be with her.
No, but I mean, they're close by.
If they get to the Titans and he goes to the Broncos,
it's not the same difference, yeah.
But anyway, let's run through the tips.
Let's do it. Who's first?
First game up, Eels Storm. Storm are the favourites in the betting at $1.77. Eels at $2.05.
And we're going to be there, Nicola.
We're going to be there. 7 players who have played in the grand final, not there.
Not there.
It's a different looking team.
Mm.
But the Storm have a completely new look forward pack as well.
Yes.
But Nickel, when you still look at it in terms of the Parramatta team, when you look at Gufferson, Sevo, Penasini,
Backline looks good.
Blake, Simonson,
it's mainly
Brown,
the forwards.
Moses. Well, that's basically the grand final backline, isn't it?
Reid Marnie.
Yeah, well, let's go to the forwards.
Papali.
Let's go to the forwards. Let's go to the forwards.
Josh
Let's go to the forwards. Let's go to the forwards. What do we got
and
here?
don't forget Sean Lane and Ryan Madison and Nathan Brown are all out as well.
Okay,
Wow.
but
It's big.
But in the engine room, we've still got Reggie. We've still got
Reggie and
Campbell
Junior.
Gillard. We've still got Junior still there. Hodgson, we've got a question mark there. Are you a fan of Bryce Cartwright?
He hasn't had enough game time, but he never started a game last season.
Okay.
So that gives you some kind of indication, doesn't it? And he's coming off a broken jaw.
Yeah.
Okay. And these two back rows,
Jermaine Hopgood looked good in the trials.
Yeah, and I'm a
Dury
and I'm a
looked good
Dury
too,
fan.
yeah.
I'm a Dury fan. So they're solid players.
But if you look at the Melbourne team, they're missing key players in the two Bromwich brothers and Brandon Smith. So they've lost more.
Pappenhausen.
Exactly. So it's an interesting game.
Yeah,
Well, the
hard to predict.
You know what? The forwards cancel out each other.
Yeah, I
the
think so,
only
yeah.
difference is the spine. Grant, Hughes, and you know what? They haven't got the centerpiece, the fullback. They haven't got Pap. So you know what? What do I get this gut feeling? That long standing record that Supercoach has got. John Creese too.
I hope so.
Or John Creese.
Okay.
Might be over. It might be over.
I'll go through a couple of stats actually. Did you know that Eels have won the previous 3 games against the Storm at Combank? So they've won the last
Interesting.
3 times they've played. They're 14-0, 16-12 and 22-14.
Well, they beat them twice last year.
Exactly, yeah. And then you've got Melbourne's won 18 season openers. John Creese has never lost one. So that's
his last
to be
season as a coach?
Interesting.
Let's give him a going away present.
Well, maybe it'll break the streak. I'm going Parramatta. I know a lot of people have gone Storm.
I'm leaning on
going Eels.
Parramatta, to be honest. Yeah,
I'm going Storm, mate. Any team that's got Cameron Munster in there,
Yeah.
that guy's just one of the best
He's a freak.
players.
He's a
and
freak.
He'll do it on his own. If he sees the team struggling, he'll pull something out and just win it.
Yeah, no. Look, I'm a fan, and
But it's going to be tight.
I haven't seen Cameron play. I think for 2 years, Monster. So I'm really looking forward.
Live, you mean?
Live.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward because I
Special.
love looking at focusing on players and see what they do behind the ruck. You know what I mean?
Here's my prediction. You watch Harry Grant go to a whole new level this year without Brendan Smith there. He owns the number 9 jersey now. Owns it outright.
Yep.
Next game on Friday, the first Friday game is the Warriors hosting the Newcastle Knights.
Tough one.
Warriors are favourites at $1.55. Knights $2.45. I'm going with the Warriors at home.
We have the first contender for
The Bludger.
the bludger of the
Spoon
round,
bowl?
the spoon bowl, as you say.
No. The bludger. You reckon the
The
bludger?
Warriors might surprise us.
I think it's going to be a lot of entertainment. Not even both
Entertainment, you
teams.
reckon?
Yeah, I think so. We've got the control freak, which I'm looking forward
We have
to.
got the control freak. We
And-
have got the control freak there.
I love the Warriors halves in Sean Johnson and Tim Martin, whatever his name
Yep,
is.
yep.
Tamari
Tamari
Martin.
Martin. I think
Sean
that-
Johnson is a very big question mark over.
Yeah, he's getting
Okay.
older now. He hasn't got the zip,
Simple.
but he'll get there.
Simple. Sean has to calm down, stop running, and control.
Just play simple.
Control the team.
Yeah.
Because guess what? Martin, let him do all the running.
Yeah.
Let do all the running. But look, the pack is formidable for me. Fanuka Blake, Eden. Who's Ford? Who's Jackson Ford? Is he a
St
new
George player, yeah. He's a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
player, yeah.
Yeah.
He's small.
Harris.
Tohu Harris is a monster. He's a
Yeah,
great
he's
player.
good.
I
He's
like
Yeah,
it.
yeah. So, but look, when you look at the Newcastle pack, the Safidi brothers, scary proposition. You know what? I really like Bailey.
Mm.
He's had some injuries, but I really like Bailey. And of course, the big question mark is Ponga.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, he's going to get a lot of traffic. He's going to get a lot of
Be interesting to
traffic.
see how he goes with Hastings.
Yeah.
Look, you know what? Sorry, can I just go? Hastings, I'm sure he will. Hastings he has to give the ball to Ponga, okay, in the right positions with room, okay, and on shoulders, okay. He's going to do that, okay. The rest is up to Kalen.
Yeah.
The rest is up to Kalen. The only issue is, which Artie alluded to 2 weeks ago, is there's going to be a lot of traffic at this young man.
Oh, for sure.
A lot of
Yeah,
traffic.
for sure.
And there's 2 things that
He'll be
happen.
targeted.
Yeah, 2 things that happens. You get tired, okay? And when you're the spot, okay, if they rip you, like they ripped him in the last game, okay,
Yeah.
and he lets in 3 tries, his confidence is going to go.
Yep.
So let's hope he does enough. Hope he does enough to not to be confident. And let me ask you, Artie, you know a bit better. Can they put Frizzell next to him as a bodyguard?
Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm sure they're going to do something like that. Even Lachlan Fitzgibbon, he's pretty good.
Someone has to.
Yeah,
take
they're
that
going
role.
to
They've
do
got to-
that.
they've got to
They'll
put a
do
bo-
that.
They, they need a bodyguard. I remember Lockyer had the same issues, but they put what's that guy with the big chin?
Nathan Cleary.
No. Back in that Broncos team.
John.
He had a beard. He had a goatee.
Yeah. What's his name?
Anyway,
Tony
Thompson?
Carroll.
Tony Carroll, yeah.
that's it.
So they put Tony Carroll next to him. He was a very good and a hard defender, and he was his bodyguard.
It was
basically.
the Jamie Soward Bo Scott formula.
Yeah.
Bo Scott.
Yeah.
Bo Scott again, another bodyguard. So if he gets the right bodyguard, okay, it will work. But yeah.
Just a couple of quick stats. Knights looking at 4 straight wins over Warriors since
Really?
2000, 2002.
Interesting.
And the Knights have won 5 in a row opening fixtures. Second best overall record with all teams.
Wow.
Really?
So first is
Wow.
Melbourne, second is Knights.
Interesting.
They're on 69%. So who's your tip, Nick?
I'm going the Warriors.
Warriors?
Yeah.
You?
Knights have got to start well, because if they don't, they're going to fall. They might fall apart. The Warriors will win.
Warriors?
In New Zealand, yeah.
Artie?
I'm tipping towards Knights.
I know you.
But
I know
the
you
fact
guys.
that they're playing in New Zealand scares me.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that worries me about this. But
This is
on
a-
paper, I think
And
the Knights.
this is the first time the Warriors are starting at home.
Yes, that's
for
a
3
big game.
years.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what's got me sort of worrying about this. But I would have. I still think the Knights might.
So the second game on Friday night, this is going to be a doozy, I think. The Panthers and the Broncos. I'd be tempted to put $50 on this one. The Panthers are red hot favourites at $1.20. Broncos $4.50. George, are they a chance? Are the Broncos a chance?
Absolutely, they're a chance. Absolutely. When you any
I'm
team,
tipping Penrith,
yeah.
especially at home.
Any backline with Kobo at fullback, Staggs, Farmworth, you know what I mean? He's a man. Is Adam Reynolds going to play? Is he passed?
I think so.
Because he had a back complaint.
I
He's
think
named.
so.
He's named. He's named. Look, Billy Walters worries me, but when you got Pass, Kurtwell, Ricky, Carrigan, yeah, absolutely. I think Artie said something last week or 2 weeks ago when they lost against St Helens, the Penrith team. Okay, maybe they got realigned. Maybe they got to kick up the bum.
Yes,
Okay,
they needed it.
Be interesting to
they
see
needed
Friday.
it. Yeah.
Mm.
Dylan Edwards is back.
Yes, huge.
Nicola. Dylan Edwards is back, and the big question for me, because we can talk about kick out, and he's a big loss, but we all know what the loss is. Happy.
Liam Martin's back too.
Liam Martin's back
Jerome
too.
Luluai is a question mark, isn't he?
Well, yes, he has to take control. He has to take control. He can't be the sidekick anymore.
Yeah.
He has to be a dominant number 6. Okay, let's see how that unfolds. Okay,
Yeah.
because he's been talking a big game. Let's. Can we talk about the elephant in the room, Mitch Kenny?
Yeah, I don't think anyone expects him to do what Appy did.
Okay, but guess what? They've got an Appy. Sonny Luke. They've got
Yeah,
an Appy.
okay.
Okay, now we all haven't seen him. Okay, and can I say I haven't seen what they're telling me. Okay, I'm interested to see. So 20 minutes. 20 minutes, what's his name? And then they'll bring Sonny Luke on. And then what they'll do in defence, they'll hide him, okay?
Yeah.
Cleary needs a quarter of a second.
Yeah. He's not going to get the speed that Appy had.
Yeah. He needs
I
a
don't,
quarter.
I don't think.
So let's see what happens. All week, I was going to tip the Broncos. I'm picking the...
No, I'm going.
I'm going
the
Penrith.
Panthers.
Yeah, I'm going
Artie, what
Penrith
about
as
you?
well.
Yeah, mate, just a couple of stats. Panthers have won 4 straight against the Broncos, never won 5 straight against them.
No.
And the Broncos have won 8 of the last 10 season openers outside of Brisbane.
They have.
That's a
Yes.
big stat.
That
That
is
one, yeah.
outside of Brisbane.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Very big.
And have lost 3 out of 16 since 1990
Wow.
outside of Brisbane.
Wow.
So not bad. Good record, but I'm still tipping Panthers, mate. I
I'm
think
going
they'll,
Penrith as well. But you know what? This will be a doozy.
It'll be a
It will
cracking
be.
game.
It will
This
be.
will be
It
a
won't be as
doozy.
easy as
It
we
will
think. Yeah, definitely.
Kicking off Super Saturday at 2:55 p.m. The Seagulls hosting the Bulldogs. George, Manly are tight favourites at $1.60 and the Dogs at $2.40.
Mm-hmm.
Manly,
I don't know. For me, I don't know what to expect. I really don't know what to expect.
I'll tell you what you should expect. My negativity, and it's probably come to a shuddering halt. You know what? Seabolt's done a good job. What I've seen,
so far. But
Bolt.
we know we can't judge trial form.
In terms, well, they're the reigning preseason.
They are. They won the first trophy of the season.
I know you like that.
I love that.
Any team,
Because they had more offloads.
because they had more offloads. Any team with Travojevic, Croker, Proseka, and I can't say that. I'll call
Olakawatu.
and Cooper Johns is in. So Tim's
Schuster's
injured.
out. They've lost the
Schuster's
five.
Okay.
Schuster's out for round
Okay.
one.
And the centerpiece,
Tommy.
Tommy.
I'm going to tip Manly at home for this one.
I'll give you some interesting stats on this one, man. Manly have won 4. They're on a 4-game winning streak against the Dogs at Brookie. At Brookie, that is. And Manly have lost 9 straight opening round games.
Let's not forget, they're on a run of losing the last 8 games of the season last year.
But they've lost 9 in a row opening round games. Only 2 clubs have lost 10 or more round 1 games. You know who they were?
Let me guess.
Bulldogs.
Para.
Eels, 1954 to 63. And Annandale, 1910.
Annandale, yeah. They had a good team, that Annandale, yeah.
Forget about
Annandale.
Papua New Guinea. Bring Annandale
Bring
back.
Annandale back.
Bring back the
But,
Jets.
so Manly, if they lose this one, it's 10 straight. First, they're going to join Parramatta in 1954, so that's a huge
Go
one.
the Bulldogs.
Can I just mention something before we go? Nico, if you watch the game, cast your eye on Paul Amarotti, a centre.
Yeah.
Okay. See if Burton stays on one edge, which he usually stays on the left, or he moves around. He's got to start moving around, or it's just not him. And of course, the elephant in the room is young Carl.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, Burton, apparently he's a natural 5'8", but every time I see him play, he almost drifts to a natural centre
He's a centre
position. So
or he needs a controlling half.
Yeah.
that's not Kyle
It's
Flanagan.
not Carl, unfortunately.
No.
That's not Carl.
Mate.
By the way, I tip the Dogs.
Yeah, me too. I was going to say I'm leaning towards the Doggies too, mate.
Yeah.
I just like their
just
lineup. They're going to be on a high.
I just
first
convinced
game.
myself. I just convinced
Yeah.
myself.
Oh, look, I'm going with Manly at home, but like I said, I really don't know
It's
what
a
to
toss
expect.
of a coin.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a toss of a coin. I know Canterbury's going to be on a high their first game with this group, and
Yeah.
Seraldo's going to be under.
And,
He's going to want to get off a big win if they
So
lose that one.
following that one at 5:30, we've got the Cowboys hosting the Raiders. The Raiders have had a shocking preseason. Cowboys are favourites at $1.38. Raiders $3.10. Cowboys at home. Hard to see them losing this one, especially considering it's going to be bloody hot up there.
Yeah, and you know that the Cowboys have got 22 wins against the Raiders, which is the most
Wow.
team they've beaten the most, equal with the Warriors. Actually, they've beaten them 22 times as well. And Canberra have won 4 of the opening games past 5 years. So
How many?
they've got a good record in the opening games, 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. Okay.
So they start strong.
I'm going the Cowboys.
You've got to go the Cows though,
Yeah.
up there with a point to prove. They had a good year last year. They don't want to start on the back foot.
George?
Mate, Drinkwater, Felt, Holmes, Hickey, Dearden, the Chad, and then our favourite player, Ruben Cotter, friend of the pod, Ruben Cotter, and Jeremy Nanai.
Our
Yeah,
favourite.
I mean, there's only one winner here, and it could get messy by the end of the
Yeah.
night. Cowboys. Listen, I don't believe for 1 minute that Sebastian Chris is going to run out at fullback.
No, it'll be Jordan Rapana, I think.
I think so.
Yeah,
It says
yeah.
Sebastian Chris here, and
That's a sticky special. Trying to
it
pull a
is
fast
fair.
one.
And you know what? Danny Levi's back from Super League, and he was player's player in Super League, and Tarpany.
Yep.
Is he the one he was the front row who was calling the best front row in the game?
He had a
last year,
great
wasn't he?
season last year. Yep.
Was it Tarpany?
Yeah.
Yes. He's my favourite. Yeah,
Artie?
he's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was one of the best.
He'll continue doing that, but I don't see anything else bar a Cowboy victory. Sorry for being long-winded.
No, that's all right. Closing out Super Saturday, this is going to be probably the game of the round, I think. The
Yeah.
Sharks hosting the Rabbitohs.
Losing Nico Hines though, that's going to take a bit of
It
gloss
is.
out of
It
that.
is. Are the
It would have
Rabbitohs
been good if
missing
he was
anyone?
playing.
Are the Rabbitohs missing anyone?
No,
of
that's
note?
the thing. No,
No?
they're not. So
So Sharks are at home, And the Rabbitohs are the favourites at $1.53. Sharks outsiders at $2.50.
Yeah, Souths won last 4 out of 6 against Sharks, and they scored 20 points or more in all 6.
I'm going the Sharks at home, but Nico Hines is making me rethink that.
Here's another one too, man. Since 2010, Sharks have the worst opening game record, 15%.
Really?
Yep, equal with Manly. So they don't start strong.
Well, okay. Listen, Trindle isn't a bad replacement for Nico Hines, number one. Number two, it's at the prison, and no one likes going at the prison.
Yeah, true, mate.
No one likes at the prison. You know what? I really, really, really like South Sydney.
Yeah.
Latrell, Johnston, Tass, Graham, and improving Ilias. And look at that pack. Godfather. I'm going to tip Souths, but this Sharks team.
Yeah.
You know what? This might be the game of the week. And can I review this one next week? You know, I do one.
Sure.
Go
you
deep.
Review that
can
one,
I do
mate?
this
Yeah,
one
for sure?
Yeah. Let me go deep into this one.
I'm going to go for the upset. I'm going to go the Sharks.
Sharks.
I'll go the Sharkies.
I'm going to go the Rabbitohs. I think only because of the Nico Hines thing. If he was playing, it'd be a lot closer. But I just think Souths have got the edge over him because of that.
The next one's going to be scary. Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. The Dolphins kick off their existence against the Roosters. Roosters obviously favourites at $1.13. Dolphins $6.
Can you just repeat that? I think Wayne, just in case Wayne isn't here.
Wayne, I'm not sure. I'm not sure Wayne's going to be there.
Do you reckon he knows the way there? Oh, it's Suncorp. It's his own turf, so he should know the way.
I think everyone's tipping the Roosters.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to change there. Fourth time Suncorp was host an expansion team opening fixture. Fourth time.
Really?
With the Broncos, the only team to win, beating Manly 44-10. The other three opening, yeah. And Roosters have won the last 2 games.
Was that in 1988?
It must have been.
Must have been, yeah. That was their opening game.
I remember that.
44-10. And Manly were coming off. They were a big team.
They won the premiership.
Yeah, that's right. And everyone, it was huge.
I remember that. And then closing out the rounds.
Can I just, Nico, if you're going to watch this game, can you cast your eye on Katoa, the 5'8" from Penrith?
Yep.
And can we have a look at how Brandon Smith is going to fit into the hooking role, and see the most important thing to look at is his pick up from the ground to the dummy half. To the first receiver, sorry.
They could have put him against the Titans for the round 1, couldn't they?
Yeah.
Rather than putting him up against the Roosters?
It seems wrong. It seems wrong, but look, they're going to have to play him at some stage.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Okay. You know what impressed me about the Dolphins? They've got Marshall King
Good player.
as one hooker, and then they've got the other guy, the short guy that played. I can't remember his name. They've got another good hooker anyway in the lineup. He's not playing. He's injured, but so they've got some good hookers in their lineup in their squad, I should say.
And closing out the round, we've got the Tigers at Leichhardt Oval hosting the Gold Coast. Tigers are favourites at $1.70. Gold Coast outsiders at $2.15. Pretty hard to go against the Tigers at Leichhardt Oval on a Sunday afternoon.
Interesting you say that, mate, because Titans have won a 3-game winning streak at Leichhardt.
That's interesting. This is a different Tigers team.
Yeah, I know, but they've won 3 in a row in Leichhardt, and they've won 8 of the last 10 against the Tigers. So that's a Titans team as favourite.
I don't believe the Tigers. I haven't seen anything yet from them. All I've seen is names on paper. I know it's at Leichhardt, but I honestly believe that the Gold Coast, the Titans, I think they'll have a good year.
Yeah.
Their biggest issue last year was a controlling half, or an organising half. They tried this, they tried that. The minute you have Foz in your team, I'm not a fan of Tanner Boyd. I'd prefer Sexton.
Oh, you've got to watch more of him, George.
You remember these two last season? Am I remembering right? Tigers had the game 1 and the Gold Coast brought it home in the last 5 minutes.
Was that the game?
They scored 2 or 3 tries back to back.
Probably.
They won it on the buzzer.
What I do remember...
Wasn't it the Cowboys?
No, that was the controversial finish.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Titans.
Nico, what I do remember was I think a Sunday afternoon we were at Parramatta Stadium and we saw the Titans play, and Parramatta won.
That was the opening game.
That was the opening game.
Yeah.
And I went away from that game thinking, you know what? They're good.
It was a good game.
They're a good
Yeah.
team.
Yeah.
And that's where I saw Sexton. And despite what I saw during the year, he impressed me.
Yeah.
I understand what you mean about Boyd, but I understand what you mean about Boyd. Give me the Titans, Nicola.
You going Titans?
I'm going
Yeah,
Tigers.
I'm going the Tigers.
Oh.
I'm going the Tigers.
I'm going Tigers. Just
You're going Tigers too.
yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. I'm looking forward to that game more than the others, to be honest, because I reckon it's going to be entertaining. It's going to be a lot of tries. It's going to be free flowing.
Interesting to see the new look Tigers, how they'll go as well.
Yeah. So I'm just giving benefit of the doubt. I'll just give them this week. To show
You know
their
what?
worth.
Someone's got to write down all these tips because
Yeah, well, you know what? We've got them recorded. So,
You know what's
you got
funny?
it. You got that.
We didn't talk about that. I saw the odds come out the other day, and someone had St George $5.50 to win this week, and the buy $1.10.
I'll take the buy.
So I thought it was one of the best. I wanted to take it as a screenshot and bring it here, but I didn't get a chance. But that was gold.
on that note, that rolls us up for another week.
Before we go, can I just butt in, Nicola? St Helens went back to England, and they arrived on Monday, and they on Saturday they played against Castleford. What a great atmosphere! It was full house, great atmosphere, and gee, they do it well. Remember, St Helens the world champion. They defeated Castleford unexpectedly.
Yeah.
So they're on their way, and I might be actually giving you reports on the twos and fros of the world champions.
We'll be happy to hear them.
I want to talk New South Wales Cup. New Zealand has brought in a Reggie's team in the New South Wales Cup
Okay.
for their pathways. And not only that, they're bringing SG Ball, Jersey Flegg, and Mats back into the system for their pathways. So.
It's good for the Warriors. Webster who? He's doing
has
well.
got his fingerprints all over that. That's probably a Penrith sort of initiative.
And Phil Gould was there a couple of years ago and didn't do that. So there you go.
The COVID started.
Oh,
But
okay,
talking
sure.
about Phil Gould, he's got an alliance with a Q Cup team, the Clydesdales, and he's using them as a feeder for the Bulldogs. Now, why the Clydesdale is because they embrace half of the state in Queensland. That's their catchment area.
Ooh.
Yeah. And can I very quickly talk about Euro A's are starting, qualifications are starting this week. And we've got the group of death, England, Ireland, Scotland and Serbia. And the other group is France, Wales, Italy, and Italy and Wales. Sorry, and the two top teams will play off to enter the main draw for the World Cup. That's all I've got.
What about the Greeks?
Didn't we just have
They're in the World Cup.
we just had the World Cup.
It's for France. They got to qualify. England, look, England's going to qualify and France is going to qualify, but they've got to be in a group anyway. And what happens is the last two have to go into another group to continue qualifying, and then the middle teams go into another group, a bit easier group. But the qualifications are starting now for the World Cup, and all the Euro leagues are starting as well this week.
Okay. The Greeks got a grand final this week.
Is it this week or next week?
March 16 was the grand final in Greece.
Well, you'll bring us the score.
No, I'll bring us the score, mate, for sure.
For the score.
Yeah, definitely.
Go for the four Pete.
Absolutely.
And I can talk. I know we're running out of time. I'll in a couple of pods I'll talk about the American League, which is restructured, and I think I've got someone to come on. There's a New Jersey. There's a Brooklyn team, and the captain coach there might come on and have a chat about their season moving forward. But that's for another time, Nicole.
Cool. All right. Well, don't forget, everyone, to send your questions and feedback through to quickhandsrugbyleague@gmail.com. That's one word, quickhandsrugbyleague@gmail.com. Boys, another great episode. A lot of fun. Tomorrow's the day.
Oh, I can't wait, Nicola.
We start, mate. We start.
Can't wait.
Tomorrow's the
It's going
day.
to be great.
Can't wait.
This time next week, we'll be sitting here reviewing round 1, and I'm sure we're going to have a few shocks and surprises. And can't wait.
We'll be talking rugby league.
We will be.
Oh,
Yep.
How good is it?
Until then, enjoy the round, enjoy the weekend, and thanks, boys. We'll see you next week.
Happy rugby league,
everybody.
Happy rugby league.
Good night.